Okay, this is a video guide for um, my train station trade station factory that I built for my Survivor World and create above and beyond 1.16.5. It's an old mod pack. I don't care. I like it. Um, this video guide is supposed to be a reference material for me to use because the schematic cannon feature is not perfect. It doesn't copy everything exactly how I would like it to. It leaves some blocks out of other mods, out of the checklist. It doesn't configure any pipes or machines very well. It's incomplete. So I'll be using this as reference to complete the copying of the factory into my survival world. Let's start at the beginning. Power generation. The whole factory runs off of furnace engines that are fed by this tree farm here. This cart contraption, let's get a good look at it here, puts down saplings and then cuts them over this sort of yard lawn area, and then carries them to this drop-off point, where this drawer stores all the logs. This brass pipe then carries them, you can see the modules here, into this furnace, which drops them into this drawer, and then refeeds the charcoal back into the furnace. This is an exact replica, as you can see. And then finally, this, I didn't do this, but this needs the same modules to drop off logs again into this drawer, which powers these saws into this mechanical crafter to make bowls, which are then dropped off and fed into the factory proper. As for proliferation of the power, it's done via these chain drives and encased shafts, which did not copy over. Note, this one is powered. Gearbox. That looks like a vertical gearbox. Pay close attention there. This accumulator picks up the bowls, feeds them onto this belt, drops them into this barrel, which then pulls them via pipe. No redstone control, because we always want bowls being fed in here. Then this bowl travels down the chute into this drawer, another buffer zone for storage, yet another pipe, always feeding, but never in for dumplings. You don't need bowls for dumplings, thankfully. Okay. So while we're down here, let's just get a look at the drop-off point for materials. So they're harvested via minecart contraption somewhere out in the world. Heads into the docking station here. Powered rail to turn the thing around. Cart contraption drops them through. The drawer controller shares everything with the various other drawers you can see here. Okay. And then I'm not sure what this is for, honestly. I think this is a manual input. So I'm just gonna delete that. Oh, this is running backwards. Perfect. Note to self, fix that in survival version. But note where the power proliferation is. Here's another adjustable chain gear shift. Powering this to speed it up. I think that was missing from the checklist, actually. This filter is set up for just about everything besides seeds, I believe. More aptly, seeds, cocoa beans, sugar cane, cocoa beans, I think, buddy beans, and poisonous potatoes are all excluded from this filter. I wish there was a way to copy this. I don't believe there is. I could actually Hold on. Survival. Let's take a peek. Yeah, there it is. Take a good long look. I don't know why we're filtering sugarcane, actually. That shouldn't be in there. It's fine. Okay. So, this then drops through this chute to this secondary cart contraption, which solely exists for resource distribution. You'll know that the rail comes up and around this way. Travels the length of this catwalk up here. These powered rails are very important. Note their locations. If the cart contraption travels too fast, it won't dock properly, which is annoying. No one wants to deal with that. It comes back over here, hits these handrails, drops back down, and docks here again. This detector rail and redstone link reset the various resource controls. There's a logic circuit so that everything is fed the proper amount of resources. This resets that. It's very important. So let's go up on the catwalk and take a peek at our configurations. First, this is the wheat that feeds into the pie crust maker. No filtered amount. Berries, no filtered amount. This feeds directly into the pie maker. And this just makes string. Only input for flags. Again, no specified amount, not very important. This filter, critically, oh, great. Nothing. Well, it should be 6 items. Carrots, cabbages, apples, beets, taters, and onions, I think. And tomatoes, actually. These are compacted via drawer and then fit in the chute, which feeds this minecart loader. We'll get to this minecart loader system in a second. There are many parallels, and then anything not carried off is fed into this nullifier because we don't want, you know, to be overstocked. So this is the pie machine area with this little addition here. This appears to be Ratatouille right here. This should be just 64 of each. You can't see it. Yeah. The content observers here are looking for these items to pass through those smart filters. 64 each only. Then once they pass through these redstone links, interact with the logic circuit, turn the chutes off. So we can control the resource amounts. We don't want to overfill the cooking pot. This egg one is important because it's complicated. We'll come back to that in a second. Carrots should also be 64. Bowls, etc. Rice panicles should be 64. Onions should be 64 as well. So this egg one is set to 16. And each time it detects eggs coming through, it is to feed down into this chute. We have to control the eggs, basically. Instead of... yeah. This is incomplete, but the method of desirability here is basically store the eggs here. Every time this pulls the eggs, I need light. Time set day. Basically, here it is. Yeah. So there's supposed to be another portable storage interface here, which will pull eggs down into this hopper or this chute. There's some, I don't remember where it is, but there's buffer storage for the eggs. Actually, no, that's supposed to be something else of some kind. This has to be filled manually, basically. What it does... Oh, I need to see what this does. Eggs. Okay. Yeah, it filters for eggs. It's supposed to carry a stack of eggs. And then this counts 4... It's supposed to pull eggs 4 times, basically. Let's check the logic circuit, actually. It's just outside here. We're gonna bust through the wall. No one cares. It's fine. What it's supposed to do is pull eggs 4 times. Because of this counter here. Which way it stops. And then every time the fried rice releases, it drops another stack of 16. The way that fried cooking pots work, the recipes only work if there's 1 stack of each ingredient. You can't double up. So we have to control for the eggs. If you're stacked 16, basically, instead of dropping 1 whole stack of 64, you drop 4 stacks of 16. It's kind of complicated, but it's fine. This is supposed to be filled up with eggs, I think. We'll come back to that later. I'll figure that out in survival. This should be 64, 64, and then there are controlled amounts for the dumplings. 32, 64, because we're making pasta with this. That's why. Let's just take a little peek at the cabbage, just to be safe. 32. Very good. I'll fix that later. Or I won't ever. It's fine. This is just the copy. So, that's how all the resources get dropped off. Cart contraption filtered by Smart Chute, and then we have redstone control circuits detect when an item has passed through, and then when an item has passed through to stop inputs. That way you can control for the amounts. It's important. Let us follow a factory line here. Let's start with the pie factory. So, we start, as all things should, with the milk. The milk. Also, I'm just going to take a peek at this here first. Encased chain drive, adjustable chain. Basically, we have various... Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. There's a common power line of encased chain shafts running through here, gearbox there, that feeds into each machine. Gearbox vertical, note that there. Shaft, speed controller, with a large cogwheel. More shafts. Shaft, shaft, shaft. Gearbox vertical, gearbox horizontal, shaft, 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 shaft. It should all be shafts from here. Nothing needs to carry power this far. Okay. We'll start with the milk, as all good things do. If I can get over there. This cow is milked by this deployer, fed by here. Hold on, I want to get all this crap out of my inventory. This hopper It then feeds the buckets back into the cow milker. This is a filtered output for milk, dropped into the depot, and then fed onto this belt where we have a splitter. So this splitter feeds milk buckets here to the item drain and then recycles the buckets. Now, the gearboxes, very important. Vertical gearboxes, power proliferation, very important. Feeds the milk buckets to the weighted ejector, which then recycles them back into the cow milker. There's another weighted ejector here from further down the line that feeds the buckets back in. And then this item pipe feeds and pumps into the basin, where we make the pie crusts. Because we're making sweet berry cheesecake, we have milk as an ingredient to make pie crust in liquid form, but the milk bucket itself is a vital ingredient in the recipe. So let's follow this down here. This mechanical arm is set to feed milk buckets from this depot into these sections of the mechanical crafters. And take a note of the configuration. All the berry sections are configured, and then each of the one on the bottoms is separate. After the mechanical crafter makes the cheesecakes, this vacuumulator picks them back up. Note the cogwheels, power proliferation. And then with the filtered outputs, one output sends the empty bucket back under this belt here, and it's a little tight, so let's try to squeeze through, onto this weighted ejector, which puts it back under this line from earlier, as you can see. Very important. And then, since we're already over here, the accumulator then sends the complete sweet berry cheesecakes into this buffer barrel, which exists so we can have a stack of berries pies at any time to pull through this common pipe system, which I'll come to later, but this is the product line. Note, again, the power proliferation, very important. And then we have a neat little setup of Farmer's Delight automation here. So this comparator reads how many pies are in the barrel, and when it reaches a certain amount, it will deactivate these redstone torches, powering this timer. And then here we have a diamond knife. This should be unbreakable in the actual factory. And a timer, which deposits the berries onto the cutting board. Cutting boards use dispenser automation. And when the dispenser slices the pies, they're shifted right into the hopper and then into this buffer drawer, into this minecart loader. Note that this does have modules in it, so pay attention to that. Why aren't we feeding into the minecart loader directly? We definitely could, but in the case that the factory makes more than the minecart loader can hold, we don't want that building up over a hopper or just sprawling everywhere. So pretty much every product line has drawers to capture the end result, so we can always just store excess product. Let's go back to the pie line and investigate how we make the pie crusts. So up here is our wheat line. This is fed to a millstone, which makes the wheat into dough and seeds. There's supposed to be a way that we get rid of the seeds here. There it is. Okay. So after the millstone capture... Oh, here's another gearbox. Again, power proliferation, very important. So the millstone feeds wheat, produces dough and seeds. Everything ends up in the basin, but the seeds are spit out by this brass funnel into this hopper and then are just destroyed by this nullifier. We could make them into product further down the line. It's just not worth the effort. The seeds are just not worth the effort. And then by filtered output, we should have... by product output. So basins just drop the product. It's very simple. We have this pie crust buffer. which is connected to this brass pipe. And it's important to know that this brass pipe splits between this retrieval module to feed the mechanical crafters, and then it goes under the rail line up into the main product pipeline. Come back to that in a second. I promise. So milk, pie, milk, sweet berries are very simple themselves. They're dropped immediately from the cart contraption distribution system via these chutes onto this belt and then just fed directly. Okay, so this is the common product pipeline. This pulls from these drawers technically, but more specifically this controller slave, and then all the product lines to basically just make everything pullable from the store face of the station. While we're talking about product lines, let's talk about the second rail circuit. So this circuit collects products to be shipped. So like I mentioned with that drawer at the end of the pie pipeline, we have product buffers, but we also have product endpoints, which are these minecart loaders. So this chest minecart travels along the secondary rail circuit. The powered rail times are not as important as they are for the for the ingredient distribution line, but still it's important to note. It just goes through, collects all the products, and drops them off at this loader over here to be shipped by the trade stations. Okay, so let's look at another. Oh my god. This factory's dense. Oh look, more vertical gearboxes. Attached to the speed controller, currently set to 32. This is the flax drop-off. It's very simple. There's another millstone, excuse me, right here. And then it feeds this barrel, which splits seeds and string. String ends up here. And then seeds end up in the composter. String, I believe, is actually being fed via hopper. You can't see it very well. Yeah, into that... Oh. Straight down, I guess. Well, the point is that they're supposed to feed directly into this minecart loader. String and... bone meal. Which really don't have anywhere to go. So, let's work on that. I forgot about that. This is why I'm making this video. This factory is dense. I forgot about portions of it. We're just double checking our work. Okay. Focus, lock in. Let's look at the Ratatouille line next. This is simple. These chutes just connect everything into this singular cooking pot. Fed bowls by the bowl line earlier and dropped into this minecart loader. This is set to 16, so we only filter out full shippable numbers. That's an important distinction. Oh, and this is what loads are friendly ingredient delivering contraption here, so get a good look at that. There's that filter from earlier. Let's talk about the fried rice line next. So some of these ingredients, like the onions, the bowl, the carrots, go directly into the cooking pot. No problemo, easy. But some of them are not so simple. Rice specifically, we're being fed panicles. We're doing the processing here on the spot, because why not? And what is this? Aha, more product line. Awesome. This is supposed to split rice into straw and rice. So the millstone then spits out the straw into this drawer, which can then be called via the product pipeline at the storefront, and then the actual rice is fed through here and then into the rice bowls. This should control for a full stack. Actually, doesn't need to. Rice panicles already controlled for a full stack, so we're never going to end up with more or less rice. Oh, the damn egg machine again. Okay. This control mechanism works. It's stupid. This brass... Yeah. That's set to 16. That's a very important distinction. You gotta set it up ahead of time, though, because this is really stupid. So basically, eggs are dropped into the hopper. It serves as a buffer system, and then they're released one at a time by the counter circuit I showed earlier. We might have to do some more work on this one. I don't remember exactly how it works or how the eggs are supposed to be dropped off, but the counter works, so we'll look back into that. Finally, the dumpling line. As mentioned earlier, these are controlled in half amounts because you need 2 straw to make pasta. So let's take a look at the pasta machine first. We're also missing 1 resource line, but it's cool. We'll look at that in a second. More power proliferation. Very important. Pay attention. That's a gearbox. So, the straw heads down the chute, enters into this machine. Trying to get my forehead into the freaking factory line. Thank you. Right. We're making pasta with water buckets and wheat. No eggs. The pasta is filtered out by this brass funnel and then fed into this drawer, which does not have a product pipeline, but it's fine. Not everything needs to be piped out. Controlled in 32 amounts to account for dumpling size, 64. 2 dumplings per one. That's important. The bucket is carried out by this pipe. There's no module here, but there's supposed to be. Oh, hold on, I've got to reverse. The bucket is spit out by the smart chute, picked up here, fed into the depot, where the water spout... where the water spout refills it, and then it's pulled via pipe back into the basin. We got mushrooms here. We got the mushroom farm on the spot. It's not a big deal. We love mushroom farms. They're awesome. And this is controlled by another circuit. In stacks of 32 to be released essentially. It's unique. That's all I remember. Where's the motion circuit? Right. It releases itself once, and then it's reset when the cart comes back home. So it's a little different because there's no drop-off point for the resources, but it still is sending out 32 per circulation of the distribution cart, so it's fine. It can be tripped a little bit sometimes, depending on if the cart is not making full rounds per circuit, but it's fine. It's fine, it works, as long as, you don't screw it up. This is the endpoint for all the cooking pots, fed into this minecart loader. Boom! Goes on the prog distribution circuit, and then it's fed to the shipment center here. So, let's take a look at this. We've got a drawer controller being fed from a hopper from the unloader, which then distributes all products to what is supposed to be pre-planned drop-offs on this end. these will always be running, will always feed these trade stations, and then they drop all the silver coins into this drawer. This drawer then powers the dynamos. These are numismatic dynamos that are used to run the trade stations. So if you'll look here, we've got retrieval modules for silver coins fed in that central drawer that's right behind that pipe there. There's another one. And then the Invar flux ducts here. Check the configurations for outputs. You need a wrench for that. I don't think the cannon probably copied that. Feeds those trade stations, and then feeds the pipe pressurizer here that allows you to call items from the product pipeline really fast. And then we have the same setup here, but the reverse. So this is the pay station. We got the product sell station, then we got the pay station here. This is where you're actually spending coins to buy resources. Brass probably being a common one, as well as mob drops, just anything really. So on this end, these numismatic dynamos are fed from the top instead. Check input configuration, very good. And then you'll notice, yeah, this is where your products are dropped off. This is the item terminal. We use this to call items from the product pipeline. Look at that. These are drawer items from where the harvesting cart contraption from the fields, docks with the trade station. Pies. There's supposed to be like fried rice, dumplings, and ratatouille here. I just haven't made any, so it's fine. Eggs. I don't know where this is calling eggs from, actually. Let's find out. This might be central to the egg mystery. Yeah, you can see that it runs centrally here, just underneath the central shaft station. Gang, where are we keeping the eggs? This is important knowledge. Is there a drawer back here for them? Oh yeah, I haven't talked about this. Seeds and stuff fed into a composter, dropped in the bone meal drawer. Very simple. Gang, where are these eggs coming from? I don't know, I guess it's a mystery. God loves his little mysteries. In my Minecraft world, where I'm God. Anyway. Yeah, weird. I'm sure those two eggs are somehow central to the egg mystery, but, I haven't figured the egg mystery out, so we will see. As for the egg drop-off, I don't know. I don't know, gang. Really? If we have the counter... Okay, really? We only need the circuit that detects when eggs are dropped. When a complete fried rice is dropped out to release more eggs from this station here. I'll do some testing in the survival version, but I don't really think this circuit here is necessary. Maybe it is. We'll find out. I don't think I needed content observer here. Either. Like, realistically... Yeah, we'll figure it out. This might be a manual drop-off point. I'd like it not to be, but it's fine if it is. Anyway, I think that's everything. So I look forward to using this as a reference material, and I'm going to be signing off now.